Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What's going on? Rebel advocates, rebel advocates, rebel advocates. Yes, we're in the place. We're in the building. We're in the building again. Welcome, welcome one, welcome all. Yep. Anyway, welcome to the Rebel Advocate Show. Yeah, where we delve into the world's most enduring and complex conflict, the Israel-Palestine struggle. Yeah, it's gonna be a big one today, and we got to toe our line, innit, in case we get cancelled. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, guys? Anyway, yeah, this thing's been going on for over a century, innit? This land's been at the heart of the battle for identity, sovereignty, and peace. And today we aim to unpack the history, politics, and human stories that have shaped these conflicts, exploring the events, key figures, and the ongoing quest for a lasting solution. Today we are joined with full crew today. Anyone? Who's there? Who's there?
There, man, there.
Oh, that Johnny.
Johnny.
Johnny, wagwan.
Oh, go on, you blessed.
Can't complain, old chap. Cannot complain. You? Enjoying the weather?
It's a bit cold, right?
Oh, who else I hear laughing? Somebody else there. Who's that?
Hey, what's happening, guys, man? How you man doing out there?
We're good, man.
Yeah,
good,
man.
You all right, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Busy times, isn't it? Yeah, man. Busy times, busy weekend still. So, yeah, no rest for the wicked. But yeah, I want to get into this one, innit?
All right. Well, then, no time to waste. Why not? You want to go? You want to kick it off, old chap?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have been seeing all these images. Seems to be the last couple of weeks of, all the trouble out there that started out there. And, well, it's never really stopped. But I think people, they need to know a little bit about kind of where it all started, you know what I mean, and how long this sort of struggle's been going on. But it's also crucial to know that sort of Britain's had a key role to play in that over the years, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's never really seems to be spoken about in sort of, you never hear of it in the mainstream media or anything, you know what I mean? But yeah, so who was it then? 1918, we had Prime Minister Lloyd George, and he had a vested interest in Palestine, just mainly on a sort of geographical basis because Britain were kind of involved in Egypt and Syria and other countries, you know what I mean? So he was involved over there. And that's where it all kind of started, because at that time, the Jewish population was only sort of 7%. So it was 93% sort of Palestinian Arabs, and Christians as well, you know what I mean? So they had a small sort of concentration of kind of people there. But yeah, slowly but surely, kind of the Prime Minister, kind of Lloyd George, he wanted to make this act. It was called the Balfour Declaration, and basically what they were promising was the Zionist movement a kind of national home in Palestine. And the guy that done it was a guy called Arthur Balfour. He was the Foreign Secretary. But when they kind of put these sort of acts through, they said that no one of any non-Jewish rights would not be infringed upon. But I'm sure, as you've seen over time, that has happened to a great deal. So that's where it all kind of started from.
Sorry. What do you mean? What do you mean about the rights thing? What do you mean about the rights thing?
Yeah, well, basically they promised the Zionists a state in Palestine, but by doing that, they also said any non-Jewish rights won't be infringed upon, but which turned out to be a bit of a lie, because as soon as they promised this state, they changed the language and stuff like that to Hebrew, and slowly but surely started passing over land and transfer to land and stuff. And Britain were actually awarded control of Palestine by the League of Nations in 1922. And then sort of Biden being awarded it, that Balfour Declaration was incorporated in their mandate, so it was standard procedure that it would get this state in Palestine, you know what I mean? And then slowly but surely, they've increased the amount of land they have, you know what I mean? And it's kind of leading to what situation we're nearly having now. I mean, kind of in between the time, there's been individual struggles, where, yeah, there's been kind of loss of life. But after that, and then you saw when the State of Israel was formed in 1948, and they were backed by the Soviet Union and America and Britain, because basically the Jews weren't really wanted in those countries, you know what I mean? So basically they set up the whole thing from then. But sort of coming towards after the end of the Second World War, it's like the Zionists kind of run Britain out of there, you know what I mean? And then they've taken further control as time's gone on. And then Israel now, I think what I was reading about them, they've got the fourth biggest army in the world. So whilst you do want to try to paint a balanced picture to a point, it's very difficult to do that. But I mean, like you said, you have to be careful and sort of acknowledge sort of cause of innocent deaths on both sides is not good, you know what I mean? But as things have gone on and been sort of manipulated, and every sort of prime minister and president seems to pump money into Israel, and their piece of land that they got is getting smaller and smaller. But then you've seen what's happened. What was it? The last couple of weeks, they said there's been nearly 3,000 sort of Palestinian civilian deaths. And I think on the other hand, they were saying there was at least, sort of 1,500 to 2,000 killed by Hamas, you know? So I don't think there's ever going to be an easy solution to it. I don't know what you guys think. But that's sort of the background. And then, because a lot of people don't know sort of the initial background and how it come about and how this struggle is, you know what I mean? They just see the images on TV, and sort of pick and choose sides, and usually the media kind of reinforce a belief to pick a sort of certain side, you know what I mean, guys? And that's sort of where it is at the moment, and now it just seems to be getting worse. I mean, what was they saying? What's the Prime Minister, Netanyahu? He just said, what was it, 1.1 million of them have to move. You know what I mean? They have to move, but there's nowhere to move to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I seen Turkey locked off the border, isn't it?
Exactly.
So they can't go over to Turkey, and they said they're not going to let them through to Turkey until something gets agreed or something like that. So
yeah, exactly. But there's nothing to move to in that country. They've got such a small piece of land now, and they're the indigenous people of that land. You know what I mean? And it's been overseen for sort of decades. And people and sort of most countries put money into it. Even countries like Ghana give Israel money, you know what I mean? Even some obscure countries, you wouldn't believe it. And they're already rich in terms of their army and their state now. And it just seems to be ongoing, but there's nowhere for the people to go now. So you're only going to see more bloodshed, you know what I mean? And I think even the UN was saying it's unrealistic. What Netanyahu was saying, you know what I mean, just to come out and move. And they shouldn't have to move anyway, but that's another argument. But just in general, to try and say that you've got to come out and move because we just want to destroy that part of the city is surely a criminal act in itself. But yeah, it's a very tough one. But that's the start of it. And we were involved from the start because, you always hear this around work or maybe other places, what's it got to do with us? But if you trace back the history, it's got a lot to do with us. And obviously America as well, you know what I mean?
So the bit where you said where there's nowhere for them to go, really, yeah?
Yeah, they're trying to send them south, John. South of Gaza, they're trying to send them, and there's nothing there, mate. And You know what I mean? They're already destroying things. It's just, for me, on a personal level, possibly it's like an excuse to try and send them to come out and totally destroy and wipe out the people. Because if in that, what is it? It's not even been, a couple of weeks and nearly 3,000.
I think, was it last week, Saturday? That's when they did start reporting things last week. So said it's just been over a week that it's escalated like this. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's mad. It's like, and then people are grilling Hamas for sort of killing innocent people. But if you look at it from another angle, you think about the Ukraine and Russia situation, for example. You know what I mean? So when Ukraine can fire back against Russia, they're defending themselves. In fact, we're sending them weapons to defend themselves. But when Hamas or anyone wants to defend themselves, nobody's giving them anything, you know what I mean? And they're against that massive army. I'm not saying it's right, but that's just a general reaction. If somebody is arguably invading your land, you're going to defend yourself, you know what I mean? And there will be casualties, and theirs is obviously always going to be more because of just the way it's structured and now the land. There was a good picture that someone I follow on Facebook put up about sort of the amount of land that was Palestinian sort of pre-1948 to the land that is now, and it's just little speckles of the country.
Yeah, because they it was a little it was a small piece. It was a small piece, and it's actually it was supposed to be 50-50, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's when they done it in 48. But it's not, is it? Like you saw, it's just little speckles here and there. And with what's happening now, I don't know when it's going to stop, you know what I mean? If he's telling them like 1 million, what was it? They said 1.2 million, I think. Like you have to come out. And they can't really come out, or wherever they go to, there's nowhere to go to, then that's another story. But no, it's a sad situation, and that's the thing. It's not even a balance, and it was nowhere near a balance, so it shouldn't have been a balance in the first place. But again, it all comes back to us, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, to Britain signing off the declaration. Obviously, when they handed control, like, you know, in 1922, they put that into their mandate.
Yeah, because they used to, what was they? Britain was controlling that most of that country, right? In it or something.
Yeah, in 1922, they were awarded the control by the League of Nations, and they was already in Egypt and other places. They basically were trying to control the canal routes and trade coming in, you know what I mean? And that's what people don't know about. They just think this situation has just erupted recently, or they'll read the front page of a tabloid, you know what I mean, and just judge something on that.
Yeah, it goes back to like the Ottoman
Empire,
Empire,
it's very deep, man. And it's like,
it goes back to the Ottoman Empire, doesn't it?
Exactly. And then, you know, the migration level that was coming in through Palestine was massive. You know what I mean? Like in 1935, they had like 66,000 Jewish immigrants. You know what I mean? And in 1935 in America, they only took in 14,000. You know what I mean? And they were taking them in, and then as they were taking them in, they were buying up more land and controlling all the land. And obviously then they took over the language in Hebrew. Then, because of the British rule as well, they sort of incorporated that as the national language out there, you know what I mean? So it's not just like a conspiracy, or you're taking one side or, I mean, over the other. There's just facts, you know what I mean, factual evidence that that's what happened, and that's what's continued to happen. But it's like everybody is still watching it, you know what I mean? And nothing's going to happen until, well, you don't know if the people are going to be wiped out, you know what I mean? Or like you said, they're trying to relocate in other countries. But yeah, it is what it is now. But yeah, we got a massive part to play in it.
So you see, with the relocating thing, yeah. Obviously, would they be allowed to fly out of the country, or is anything gonna fly in? Are they gonna shoot it out the sky, or they just cross the borders, or what?
I mean, I don't know. I don't believe a lot that. It's all right. No, I don't believe anything that really comes out of Netanyahu's mouth. He's been doing it for years, and like you said, they could say to them, "Oh, go to the south, but there's nothing really in the south. You've destroyed the country, you know what I mean, or the part of the country that you want to destroy. That's how it seems. So I don't see that. Obviously, people will take them in it if they're leaving the country. Depends on certain countries, but like I said, some countries will start locking off their borders as well, which makes the whole thing so hypocritical, because they were coming there. They didn't even want to go there in the first place, but sort of because of the rise of Nazism in the 20s and 30s, you know what I mean, they started going in there even more. And then obviously because they knew that it was, you know, they were trying to make a Jewish state in there anyway. But it's so hypocritical of it the other way around, you know what I mean? And it feels like they're just doing the same thing. So they're replicating behaviour that was done to them by Russians, by whatever Germans, you know what I mean, back in those times. You know what I mean? Because no one was looking to take them in, really. Too tough. I mean, even America. But then once they got in there, and they had the rights anyway, and land was transferred to them, that's how it's continued. And that's why if you ever see those maps up there, you'll see what they had was obviously 93%, you know what I mean? And it feels like maybe they don't even have 7% now. It's probably less than that, you know what I mean?
And there was, you know, they tried to, with Israel, these leaders, they tried to reason, innit? Tried to make some deal with them. And if you try and make a deal with them, they just turn up assassinated, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
Enough of them were just killed.
Yeah, well, they tried to do the deals out in Uganda as well. You know what I mean? Better than that, you know what I mean? Trying to do deals for land out there, you know what I mean? And even the Ugandans had enough after a while, you know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, you can't give them Uganda. You can't deal with Uganda, mate, you know what I mean? What's wrong with these
exactly.
people? They're a bit crazy, they are. They're a bit crazy. But I don't understand, where were they coming from? Why ain't they got their own space?
Well, I mean, they had, didn't it? They were there. I mean, what was it? 7% of the population were Jewish in 1918. You know what I mean? So there was, you know, I mean, they were there. And like anything, when you sort of bring, I don't know, religion involved with it, there'll be some troubles. But there weren't nothing like that. But then, obviously, like we said, when Britain got involved with it, and then started taking over the country, they just started slowly but surely, sort of stripping them of their rights. You know what I mean? And like sort of moving them off their land and sort of making things unbearable for them, taking over their villages, you know what I mean? And all them things. And now, but then they got run out of it, you know what I'm saying? After the Second World War, then they got run out of it by them. You know what I mean? You know, because they got too powerful. And then they sort of left it. But then not just to leave to do anything to help. Now it just seems what Britain and America, they're the major ones, weren't it? I think Obama was giving them like 30 billion. You know what I mean? He was giving the Israelis, but all of them were doing the same handing over money, hand over fist, you know what I mean? Who was cussing, who was it? Oh, Trumpy. I saw him out, he was having a go, weren't he? He was having a go at Hamas. So, yeah. So everybody's been financing them, you know what I mean? At least the major players. And obviously probably getting things in kind of return to a point possibly, because that's how it seems. Because, I mean, yeah, they said their army is the fourth most powerfulest in the world. So, yeah. But that's it really, I think. People should understand that that's how the situation's come about. We signed off their country, we took over it, and then got run out of it, lost interest, but then still, us and many other countries, everybody's complicit, you know what I mean? It's just financed that situation that it is now. But I'll be interested to see if, hopefully it doesn't go any further in terms of what this guy says he's going to do, you know what I mean? But if he does, it's going to be, you know what I mean, someone's going to have to say something, but I don't think they're going to just sort of step in and stop him, you know what I mean?
I was watching a good documentary. I put the link on there in the chat. It was called Whose Land Is It? Palestine or Israel, 1982 documentary. It was quite good. Anyone who wants to get a bit of knowledge, go and watch that documentary, because it was straight to the point, but gets right into what the problem, what the issues, what's it about, and all that. So no, have a look at that one, guys.
Okay.
Like, no, I can't see it sadly on mine. Okay. Yeah, man, I'll have to have a look at that. But that's, like you said, if it was fair and balanced over time, and it was even, and sort of people still had a good sort of portion of their land, and it's not been sort of dwindled down into sort of little specks in their country, you would look at it as a more fair and balanced thing. But it just seems more towards an occupation / invasion over time. That seems to be picking up speed, and because now they reacted like that with what they done, because what was it, the music festival, wasn't it? So after that, yeah, obviously the reaction's really severe now, and it could continue to be so, you know what I mean, for a long time. I don't know when it's going to stop.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Johnny?
It's just so messy right now, man. And what I'm just seeing a load of people dying. But it's what Artie just said. I didn't know the full facts and behind the scenes of it. And I just seen two sides just warring against each other. And just thought, boy, can't you just resolve it? But obviously, it's bigger issues than that, and it's like, yes, I don't see how this thing is going to resolve. And it's like Artie said, it's been going on for so many years now. It's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. It's either I can see us end up like letting them some of them into our country and just letting them, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you're saying that, because I was talking to my sister who runs like a refugee project, and she said, like, even you see, like, when they get refugees coming over, it's almost like a ranking system now, and like, obviously first now is Ukrainian. So, you know what I mean, if you're coming over from sort of Ukraine, you just get bumped, you know what I mean? It said, like, you get sort of priority over any level of other, you know what I mean, sort of refugees, which is mad. So
they're saying the Ukrainians are number one, and then everyone else is basically
exactly
ballet. It's like some ballet system thing, like some boy.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But yeah, you probably will get a rise if this whole situation carries on, even if it doesn't, because by all the destruction that he's done, there ain't nowhere for, you know what I mean, them, you know what I mean, for them to go. And it's not like no one's going to come in there and help build up their thing, you know what I mean? That's not going to happen. If anything, you know what I mean, they'll probably go the other way.
So, go on.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, Britain has a massive argument with it, obviously, now, because they helped set up this whole situation, and then they got run out, you know what I mean?
So what other countries are actually going to go in and help with this war thing? Like, is anyone actually joining up with them out there, like China?
Nah, no one. This is what I'm saying, and that's the mad thing is, if anything,
they're all like helping them out, like giving them tools, innit? They're giving them the tools, but they're not actually going in there, are they?
No, exactly. They're not doing like that, you know what I mean? But no one's giving anything really. I mean, if anything, they're just wherever you go, and this is the problem, isn't it? With sort of mainstream media and everywhere you go, you just seem to get maybe a bit more now because of how harsh it's been now, sort of the repercussion. But generally, the mainstream media and stuff is a narrative of, it's a pro-Israeli narrative. You know what I mean? It's not a fair narrative. It's not a fair. You know what I mean, I mean, like teacher said, if you have to go and watch things like those sort of documentaries to get straight to the point of the situation. And you could argue going back centuries that everyone's got a right to some part of that land. But just the way it's happened and the way the country's been turned over, and the mainstream people that have been there for time as well, they've been flipped 360, you know what I mean? And don't have really anything, and there's nowhere to go, you know what I mean? That's the thing about it. And then obviously most of the mainstream countries, the major players in the world, are complicit with it, you know what I mean? And if anything, fund them, and just sit and watch it go by, you know what I mean? Like it ain't a thing. Obviously it comes on your news and that, and you see it. But like you said, no one ain't doing nothing. Or even really speaking out, because you can't speak out against them, innit? You can't say anything.
So in your opinion, is there a right side and a wrong side, or do you think everyone's got their own like reason for doing things?
I think they both have reasons to have a stake in the land, but the way the land was structured and how it was just over 100 years ago, John, it's like the Jews didn't have hardly any part of that land. But due to, like we said, our involvement and American involvement, and even later on Russian involvement, you know what I mean, and starting that state of Israel, just after that in 48, that was them. I think they drove out nearly 750,000 Palestinians just then, just when they created that state of Israel, you know what I mean? And obviously since then everything's been happening, but it's just, if it was fair and just and you said, right, that's your part there, that's your part there, you know what I mean? And they both had adequate services, everything that, you know what I mean? And they had their two separate states, but yeah, it's not like that. They just want it all. That's how it seems to me. That's what you know. I mean, that's how I feel it is. Maybe some people might argue different, but that's how I feel it is. That they want everything, and now because of that attack they done in that festival, now for me that's almost acting as an excuse for him to go even madder. You know what I mean?
You say a festival?
Yeah, when it was a music festival that Hamas attacked in it when they killed a lot of people recently, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Was it? Yeah, it was like a music festival. They attacked and they indiscriminately killed a lot of people, which obviously is wrong. You know what I mean? You don't want that from anywhere. You know what I mean? You don't want innocent people losing their lives, little kids and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's wrong. Of course, that's wrong. But that feels like that's been going on the other way for decades, and they're getting minimalised and marginalised, you know what I mean, into something really small, if not anything, you know. So, yeah, hopefully it all sort of dries up a little bit. So I don't know how, you know what I mean? Don't know how. You don't see it, you know what I mean?
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, you don't see it sort of drying up, or if anything happening like that. But yeah, you're going to see what's going to happen recently now, isn't it? Because he gave them that, it's almost like an evacuation order, wasn't it? So yeah, you've got to come out. And exactly, there's nowhere for them to go. So yeah, I just don't see it as like a side. I just see it as like, that's what's happened and that's what's continuing to happen. You know what I mean, John? And obviously Israel's a mega power now, isn't it? In more ways than one, you know what I mean? And financially, and they have a big stake to play over here and in America, you know what I mean? So I don't see Britain or America, whoever's in charge, no, I don't see that. They're only gonna, no, yeah, exactly. They're only gonna be with them and give their money like they've already give their money all the time. And obviously now, because they're so powerful, Israel, I'm sure some money comes back. But so I don't see them having any less of a grip there. So yeah, it's not looking good, isn't it, for sort of the Palestinian people out there? But I suppose it hasn't looked good for long. And it's like you said, Johnny, they ain't really getting any backing from anyone. You know what I mean? Because they haven't got the level of capital, and you know, they've got Hamas there. It's nothing big, you know what I mean? But you know, obviously they ain't got the might of Israel and their army and stuff. So Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in it, but hopefully, maybe there's going to. But then that sounds harsh, isn't it? It's like saying, they'll go have a mass sort of migration, but they shouldn't have to migrate. You know what I mean?
But it's what you said: migrate and go where? Like you said, there's nowhere for them to go. So
exactly. They can't just rock. You know what I mean? And people are going to close up their doors. Some, as I said, obviously some must be able to, but majority of them won't be able to anyway. There's nothing for them to go with. You know what I mean? Is there going to be shiploads of people wanting to take boats? You know what I mean? But when it's over here, I mean, especially here, but I'm sure it was the same in other countries, when it was, Ukrainian refugees, they were welcomed here with open arms, you know what I mean? You had it sort of front page of our mass media to say, almost take these people over, you remember?
Yeah, let them in.
Exactly. But can you imagine it this way around now? Is it going to be front page? It's not, man. It's, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because you're a different shade. And it's coming back to that a little bit as well, sadly, even in terms of these people now who have been smashed out of where they were living. You know what I mean? Some of them have no involvement with the clan, you know what I mean? And then they've got nowhere to go. But if they're going to try and get somewhere over here, from what I'm hearing, it's going to be slim pickings at best, you know what I mean?
You got some spare room for one of them? You guys got some spare room?
You know what I mean?
So with the Ukrainian now, they're basically saying, come and save yourself, come here and save yourself. But with this thing now, they're just giving them tools and say, hey, you lot can kill yourself, but you Ukrainians come over and save yourself. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's almost like, it sounds horrible, but sort of sponsor a migrant. You know what I mean? If you're from the Ukraine and...
What are you saying? Are you saying it's a racial thing?
That part of it's coming down to it, isn't it? In terms of them, if they want to relocate as well, because they can't even really do that. They're way down the pecking order. As I said before, not that they should have to, guys, but, and even maybe into the whole war itself, you know what I mean? But they're not, I mean, this whole conflict in it, it's like almost everybody's complicit in it to some point. If it, I mean, I'm talking about obviously the governments and major players. If you're sitting back watching it happen, and you can see it happening, and you're not doing anything about it, so they're all complicit kind of within it. So I don't see, like Johnny said, anybody ain't rushing to take them in. You know what I mean? Whereas when it's this,
what did Ukraine have to offer apart? What did they have to offer? Their services to come and be slaves for the country. What did they have to offer? Why they jumped up to save them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Is it just because, let's be honest, maybe they're white, because they could just come in there and just work, and like any other migrant worker that comes over here, generally they have a large percentage that do come here and work, you know what I mean, and do get jobs, and they're generally low paid ones anyway, but you know what I mean, so it doesn't really matter, isn't it, if they're Ukrainian or Palestinian, who cares, you know what I'm saying? There should be no one right, you know what I mean? People should be allowed to come over and not have that level of discrimination. But that's what someone was telling me, and they work in that sort of place where they sort of tell me like they're way down, third, fourth or fifth down in the pecking order, but it's sort of the Ukrainian ones are first.
Yeah, this country just picks and chooses who they let in, because even to not change subject, but they got that ship that they got on the waters over in Portland, where they're putting all the immigrants on, and then they got to hear their case one by one to choose if they keep them over here. It's like you just pick and choose, man. Like it's wrong, but boy.
What are you saying? You wouldn't have seen no Ukrainians on that boat, yeah?
You wouldn't see none of them on that boat there.
No, exactly. So that's the problem, isn't it, now? So even, if they want to go anywhere, it's going to be very difficult for them anyway, for more reasons than one. So they're in a terrible situation. And whether or not you can see an actual resolution coming, it's tough to see for them, you know what I mean? I don't see what's going to happen. Maybe, like you said, a few of them can possibly relocate, but financial, innit? You know what I mean?
And for Turkey not even to want to let them in, there's something deep into this thing, man.
Well, if you look on online, you can see sort of all the countries, like I said, who give money to Israel in terms of their army and all this stuff. And there's so many countries, even obscure and benign countries, that you wouldn't think. And so they have a vested interest in this sort of war, and they don't, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, So it's horrible. It's a horrible situation that, like now, it seems to be bad. I mean, like I said, let's watch this space and see what happens over the next week or two, because I think sadly there'll probably be some more developments. You know what I mean? I don't think this is just the end of it for now. You know? Yeah. You know, we only told 1 million of them. You know what I mean? Just you got to find you know what I mean? Just find a yard. You know what I mean? 1.2 million. So I don't see how that's going to end up nice out there. And they're still having an offensive. It's not like they're stopping, you know what I mean, anytime soon.
And it's not saying that they've broken any laws or anything, because when Russia did start the thing with Ukraine, they did say something about Russia broke some humane law or something. They're not saying that this law, anyone's broken any in this war, anyone's broken any laws or anything, are they?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've been using those phosphorus bombs, haven't they, the Israelis as well, you know what I mean? Been using them out there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, innit? You don't hear it, like they're not breaking any laws. You know what I mean? If this was switched around by other groups of people sort of behaving in this same way, and that's on both sides, obviously. Like I said, when see what the guy's done in the festival, that's, you know what I mean, no one's condoning that. But their army has sort of behaved sort of terribly for decades out there, you know what I mean?
But they
sort of pushing and corralling them, you know what I mean?
No, they have some. I think the Zionists, they got some laws over there where even if you're not a Jewish, if you're not a Jew, you can even if there's laws that you can't even marry a non-Jew. You know that, innit?
That's right.
And they got things over there where even if you do, if you marry a non-Jew, that person doesn't have no rights at all. Yeah, you know that, innit?
Yeah, imagine that.
So if you had them laws over here, people be going crazy over that. People be going crazy over that.
Exactly, just that alone. I mean, and like you said, that's one thing. And then as the time's gone on, they've changed that language now to Hebrew, haven't they? So you imagine how it's all gone like that. If they had that here, someone just come over here. I mean, we get our knickers in a twist over here about migrants coming over here, and we spoke about it before, didn't we? About taking sort of the culture and all this stuff. But you don't hear them coming over taking our language away. You know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It's nothing like what's happened to those people there in terms of how everything's gone 360. You know, I think we've got migrants that come over here generally and enrich our country with, the multiculturalism, and you get good and bad in everybody as well. So you can't say, these, come and doing this. You get, good and bad in everybody. But no. And sort of that's kind of, the main issue now out there is kind of what's going to happen now. What's the next step that's, going to be taken? So
totally, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
No, I'm hoping for something. Something sort of positive, isn't it? But
it's not going to be. It's not going to be. We know that already. It's not going to be. It's going to be who's got the money, who's got the power. They're going to be in charge. We know that. Come on, yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, I think that is the way it's going to go. But I'm hoping for some form of peaceful resolution in the near future, or the softening of some blows of death, because it feels that the loss of life is a bit more sort of inevitable out there. Like you said, but hopefully not so many more, man. You know what I mean?
So once they take it off the TV, nobody's going to worry about it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It'll be gone in a flash.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more on that? Go on, old chap.
Yeah, no, what did they have? They had a big demonstration, didn't they? Down by Downing Street. There's been a couple around our country. There was a big Jewish one down by Downing Street last week. I think there was supposed to be a Palestinian one. I think there was one supposed to be today or yesterday in Kensington. So I'd like to know what happened there. I know the police were saying whatever, sending out warnings and stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's been a couple going, but no, kind of, that's about it now. I'm sure there'll be, like you said, more news breaking on this going forward, and might not be too negative, but hey, let's hope for a positive future there. Even if you sort of realistically think that it's going to be tough for that to be achieved with the current situation there, you know what I mean?
Can I just quickly ask you something, RT? When England played the other day in football, what was the issue with them lighting up the arch in the Israeli colours or something? There was a issue with it.
Yeah, I think people were just sort of maybe not quite convinced by it or something, innit? Because they were going to light it up in the Israeli flag, wasn't they?
Yeah, but there was a protest not to do it, or some.
Yeah, there was some outcry, a little bit of outcry about it, so they just decided not to do it. Quite late in the day, to be fair. But yeah, sort of, they decided it against, which is pretty fair, I think. Not a bad decision by them. I'm surprised. I have to say, I'm quite surprised. I thought they would have lit it up. But no, they didn't. So yeah, there was a little bit of protest, John. So they just sort of decided against it last minute. But yeah, that was it.
So when they light it up all the time in the Ukrainian colours, is that not a...
That's it. Yeah, you see it there. Of course. Yeah, you see it there. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of contradictions there, isn't there? So, yeah, I don't know. Like you said, as soon as the Ukrainian things happen, you have heard a lot about it. So, yeah, but that was their reasoning kind of behind that. They didn't want to cause any whatever anger and stuff. So, what did they say, to sort of intensifying an ongoing situation? So, yeah. So that was it, really. So they said no. So, yeah, no, that's it, man. Yeah, I'm cool with that. As I said, I hope for a good future out there, guys. But yeah, not positive, but hey ho.
Go on. What? Any more on that? That was what? It's caught 45 minutes on that.
Yeah, no, that's about it, really. I just wanted, like I said, to give people a little bit of breakdown of how it's kind of come about to what it is, and it is, and kind of it is what it is now, isn't it? Sadly, no, I'm cool.
What did you say the name of that program was again, teacher? Because I want to watch it tonight still.
It's on the chat, but what was it called? Whose country is it? Israel or Palestine? Hold on, let me go back in my whose land is it? Palestine or Israel? 1982 documentary. It's on the chat.
Okay.
It's on the chat there. You can just
chat tonight still, man.
Link that. Yeah, it's about half an hour documentary. Documentary, 1982. It's a good one. It's a quite good one. Straight to the point. Really short, but hits the points. Do you know what I mean? It hits the points.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be long, does it? Just like you said, hit the points and sort of go through, a little bit of history to what's happening out there. And yeah.
Yeah, good one, old chap.
No worries.
Good one, old chap. All right. You got something, Johnny? Or shall I just jump in?
Nah, jump in.
We're talking about the necessity of the truth. Do you know what I mean? It's funny. It rolls in with what we were talking about. We've got to tell the truth, innit? A lot of people lying out there, innit? a lot of flipping liars out there, from big liars to what we were just talking about, to old small little white lies, I'm feeling a bit sick today. I'm not going to go into work. Yeah, I I cracked my toenail. Do you know what I mean? I broke my toenail. I'm gonna take a day off. You know what I mean? Today, guys. Oh, fuck it. I'm gonna take the week off. Do you know what I mean? We gotta
Yeah,
tell
of
the
course.
truth, right? We gotta tell the truth. What do you guys think about telling the truth? And as we get a bit older, do we tell the truth? And we do like the truth told to us? We're gonna. What about you, Johnny? What do you think of that?
It's- yeah, yeah. As you get older, you kind of do. Well, I find I kind of do bend the truth a little bit, but I prefer people to tell the truth to me. Yeah, no matter how harsh it is. I'm someone that can take criticism and whatever in it. So yeah, I prefer to tell the truth to me still. But yeah, as I get older, like you said, if you got a little cough or something, you may phone and be like, "Yo, I can't come in today." You know, I'm feeling a bit. I feel when you know it's just really a little cough in it, but you can kind of just. Yo, I think I'm coming down with something today. I can't come into the office today. You know, I'm feeling a bit under it still. So you kind of do bend it a little bit, but yes, I don't know if it's that's the part of getting older or what. I don't know what it is, man. But
No.
maybe it's not everyone's like that, isn't it? You got some people that would just fully just tell the truth, innit? Just like, yeah, I'm fit enough to come in today, boss. Like,
Yeah.
get me? Even though they know they can bly it a little bit and just be like, yo, but you got some people that are just fully, just
Yeah, totally. But see, what I'm saying is, like, the older you get, the more truth you tell. I think, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm standing on. I think the older you get, you tell the truth more. So I think, do you know what I mean? You don't really want to be chatting too much rubbish because I think that's what you want around here. That's what you want yourself. You don't want to hear no rubbish. You want to, like what you said. You want the truth. You want people. You rather people tell you the truth. So with comes that maybe you just naturally tell the truth yourself. I don't know. I that's what I'm thinking. What do you think, Artie?
No, I totally agree with you to the point of kind of, especially as we're getting older now. You have a little nonsense talk, a laugh with your mates sometimes, but generally when you're talking to people, you want a decent level of truthfulness, you know what I mean, and kind of people you have around you as well, and how you say and how you project yourself in terms of that. Like what Johnny said in terms of kind of bending a little truth. Yeah, that's, you know what I mean, that's been a given in in time, but sort of, like you said, people around you want to be truthful, you know what I mean, as truthful with them as possible, and hopefully vice versa, that behaviour comes back. I got 2 kids and I try to tell them to be as truthful as possible, you know what I mean, and just be honest, either when you mess up or you make a mistake. I think kind of just to be truthful and honest, and you know what I mean, sometimes I think when we get told the truth, you know what I mean, especially by people who know us a long time or might care for us, you know what I mean, you might not always like to hear it, but it's good to hear it on a, you know what I mean, in a different perspective, you know what I mean, because you're hearing something truthful from that person, and like I said, sometimes the truth does hurt, but it is good to hear.
Okay, so what if we know it definitely hurts? Do we still do we still tell the truth? Let's just say you say, like, all right, this is for both of you, yeah, but Johnny, you answer this first, Johnny. Let's just say you saw one of your friends, yeah, and you saw his wife outside hugging up with some next man outside. You know that's not. You understand? You know that's not you know that's not your friend. Yeah, you saw your friend's wife hugging with some next woman, some next man.
Yeah.
Proper, you know, not no friendly hug, proper hugging outside of a club or something like that. Are you gonna tell the truth then, old chap?
Do you know what it is? I've been in situations like that in the past before, yeah. And it's like I've told someone that I like seen as a friend. I've told them something like that before. I've seen their missus hugging up with someone else before, and then the missus all. I've told the truth, innit? And then the missus all like, "Oh, at me." She doesn't like the person's gone back and carried my name back, and then missus like, "Oh, he's lying, rare tear tear," and it's all looked at me. It's all a big misunderstanding, innit? I've seen what I've seen. I've gone back and told the person, and the woman has made me look like a liar. You get it? So you see now, I'm the someone that I'm the someone now. If I see it, if I class you as a good friend, I'll tell you. If I see you as the someone that I know of, but I still talk to you, I won't even bother. You get it? Because it like I don't know, man. Because like I said, because I've been in that situation before, and it's just it can ruin relationships as well. You get it?
No, fair play. Artie?
Yeah, no, I think I would. I think a key sort of a key reasoning would be, especially like kind of like what John said there. If it's someone you've known a long time and you saw that, I think it's a duty of care for myself to let my mate know. Because I think if it was the other way round, it's someone I've known a long time, or you know, I mean, a friend or such, you know what I mean, you'd want that person to tell you, you know what I mean. So no, I would, you know what I mean. But also agree with Johnny, like you said, it could cause some conflict and friction. Because people could sort of question you and say, "Oh no, he didn't see it," you know what I mean? He's just trying to stir things and stuff. But no, I think I would tell. I would have to, innit? I'd have to come and tell, because I just think it's the right thing to do. And like I said, I would expect that done to me. If one of my good friends saw that situation materialising, you know what I mean, and not letting you get played around for a fool, you know what I mean? And at least if you tell that person, then for me, it's up to them what they want to do with that situation, you know what I mean? But no, I'd have to tell, I think, mate. No, I'd have to.
All right, fair enough. What if, right? All right. What if, let's just say you're in a job, yeah, you're in a job situation, and job settings, yeah, in job settings, and somebody's got their fingers in the till. Do you know what I mean? Nicking some money on the till, and then that you catch them, and they come around to you and just say that, yeah, just hold that 20, man. Don't say nothing. You understand? You gonna say something there for that, Artie? Are you gonna tell the truth about that and snitch on them?
No, I'm not gonna sing, man. I'm not gonna sing on that one. On a personal level, no. I mean, just play. You know what I mean, play silly. You know what I mean. But then maybe not. But then maybe not take the change in the first place, innit? Because that's sort of incriminating yourself, as tempting as that might be.
They go around. You got edge note in your hand. Go on, just hold that edge note, son. Yeah, you know, you don't see that too often, do you? Don't see the edge note too often, do you?
In and out, mate. In and out. In and out very quickly. Again, you know what? The same sort of perspective as the previous one. It depends if I know the person as well. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sing anyway. But if it's someone that I know and they give me a change, I don't really mind. But if it's a random dude or someone you work alongside, but you don't really know him, you seem, I mean, hands in the cookie jar, that's fine. But I didn't see it. But no, I wouldn't take your change. But if it's someone I knew, like a friend of mine, that just work in the same place as me, yeah, I'd probably take the change still. But I'm still not singing either way. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Go on.
What if there was a instant, like a situation now where your job was on the line and the boss called you in the office now and went, "Boy, we don't think it's you that's done it, but we've had information that basically you've received.
We got intelligence. We've had intelligence.
Intelligence that you did profit off what's happened, but basically we don't think it was you, but we've had intelligence that you've profited off it. And if you just let us know what the situation, here's an agreement. You sign this. You basically let us know what the situation was, and you won't lose your job. But if you don't, but
he would sort of think, I don't know, man. It depends again on the friends and stuff. If it's a good friend, you say fuck it, we both lose it, mate. You know what I mean? And then sort of jog on. But this a little man, I don't really know. We might have to get thrown under the table, mate.
That's a dodgy one. Right? Hold on. Sorry, old chap. Listen, that's a dodgy one, right? Because the thing is, we can say what we're saying here, but in the reality, that real situation is gonna be hidden. So you could even G somebody up, You could G them up, and you won't, they won't even know. You could turn around to that person and say, "Boy, Ro, what you gone? Yeah, Ro, what happened? Ro, what happened, bruv?
What happened to you, bruv?
Oh,
you
shit,
left,
man. Sorry, man. Sorry, but anyway, more time.
Someone has to get thrown.
Yeah, it's a different one. If you're actually in that thing, within that
100%. Easier said than done.
You can hide. You can hide, and you can get away with it. Man, they could think, right, that motherfucker sold me out, But I ain't 100% sure. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. It's a sticky one, isn't it? Sticky because you might think, But no, it's interesting. Like you said, it's a difficult situation, that one.
What about you, Johnny?
It's true what you said, because man, in that situation, it's easy right now to just say. It's easy to say, nah, man, I ain't G'ing them. But look, man, look, you got to feed your family. That job's your bread and butter, yeah. So if you lose that job now, you don't know where your next con's coming from. You get it? So they're getting your P45. You got to go home. You got to tell your missus and your kids, like, yo, like.
Yeah, I got some, but hey, I didn't snitch though. You get me?
I didn't snitch.
I'll get a new one.
What's that number for the sign-on thing?
Get your 0845 number. Get your 0845.
Yeah, strange.
But no, it's an interesting one still.
It's a mad one still, but. See me. What I'll say now, I'll just play to them. I don't know what you're talking about, innit? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what you're talking about. But if you're in that situation and everything's on the line, and that could be your mortgage that you're paying off, and you lose that job, that's just you. But it's a sticky situation, man.
No, of course. There's a lot to weigh up, mate. And like I said, easier to say in hindsight or sort of sitting from here. But maybe when you're faced with that dilemma, it is quite literally that, you know what I mean?
And when you're in a job like that, you should, people shouldn't be teething out anyway, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that right? Yeah. Is that right? What if you're working in What if you're working in Cartier warehouse? And they all get a couple of returns coming through, and then a couple of returns just get they dash it out the back, but they say, hey, don't touch them, but they just dash it out in the back, say the thing's going to get thrown out. It's Cartier still, it's Cartier. What are you telling me? I'm gonna go grab that and just shot that down.
Just going out there for a minute, mate. I'll be back.
In my younger days, man would have set something up still. You get it, man. Man would have set up the place to get ransacked. You get it, but nah, man. As I get older, I just wouldn't. But if I seen someone doing it, I'll just turn a blind eye to it. But I wouldn't. Get me.
Jumping in. Give me our Cartier now.
But it's the next hard one, because if someone's it's what you said earlier. If someone's profiting and they know that you've seen them and they try offer you a change, are you really gonna turn that down and be like, nah, man, don't worry about that? Are you gonna just still take the change and be like, yo, if you get caught, don't mention my name, you know?
Exactly. You know what I mean? But yeah, easier said in hindsight. But you know what I mean? If he was in that situation, it might be a bit different. But yeah, I do agree. Part of that, John, is you do get a bit older now, innit? Like you said, I've worked in places when I've seen people take stuff. You know what I mean? I just let them get on with it. You know what I mean? You just turn a blind eye, mate. You know, so I don't see nothing, mate. You know what I mean? Just leave it at that. It's not for me to do, but some guys in it, they do that still. Try to do that.
Totally.
Horses for horses, man.
Yeah, put in their shoe and that, you know what I mean?
Totally. All right, cool. Right, 1 hour. We're up. ALB, guys.
Any other business?
Any other business? What's been happening? Did anyone see the nonsense of a boxing fight yesterday? There was a couple of crappy fights going, apparently.
I didn't have no fights going on. There was no proper boxing going on over this
None
weekend,
at all.
so I didn't know nothing about no stupid boxing.
No.
We're not interested in none of that stupid. We're not interested in none of that stupid real boxing or no boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, it wasn't real.
Right. Okay, I take that back, bro. Actually, we did talk about we did talk about Zhang, didn't we? Yeah.
Bang bang.
The guy who got Zhang punch up. So yeah.
You got Joe Joyce, yeah. No, nothing much
40.
been going on. What?
40. Hey, I saw that. You see that? And it's probably finished now, isn't it? That Arsenal women and that Mead comeback. She come back and boom, she helped them to win, innit? A comeback. I read about it.
Teacher, I watched that.
Was it a good one? I just read about it, and I know the show was coming on tonight, innit? It's probably
John soon, I think. Yeah, she come back and done the business.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and spy that. Go on.
I rarely watch the WSL team, yeah, but when I seen it was 1-0 to Villa, yeah, I thought to myself, let me watch this, and it's at the Emirates, and Arsenal. This is their third game that they wouldn't have won, in it. They lost their first game, drew last week to Man United, and then they brought on Mead in the 86th minute. She came on, then they put on 12 minutes of injury time.
Oh, 12 minutes?
Yeah, 12 minutes of injury time. You know this new thing when you waste time and then...
Bloody hell.
Bro, that it just turned into offense versus defense, innit? Like, Arsenal were just piling on the pressure, and you're like, bro, you think they're going to score, but you're like, boy, they brought Mead on, they got that Russo on, they brought that Black Stinius on, they had McCabe on, they had all these players, and they were just Villa just sat back, and it was their own fault. They couldn't play out, innit? And they brought on that Lehman woman, but she's only there for her looks, innit? I don't know what she really does, but
yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it was a comeback still.
Fire.
Yeah, I read it. It was that good then. Yeah. What was the score? What was the final score?
2-1.
Oh yeah, she got them in it. She went and got them, mate.
2 goals in injury time.
Yeah, that was it. What is it? It's a couple weeks break, innit? Now until not in 2 weeks. What, about a week now to the Premier League's back
next
weekend.
Next week,
yeah.
Saturday. Chelsea versus Arsenal.
Should be a good one. Should be a good one, man.
Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. But yeah, just internationals at the moment, ain't it? Nothing much else going on.
Was Scotland qualified tonight?
Yes, we certainly did qualify. 2 games to spare. Good, makes a change. You know,
I'll cut over there. I'll cut her.
You know, yeah, it's good positive. I'd like to win the group. We're tied with Spain now, but they've got a much better goal difference. So yeah, well, that was the end of Norway tonight for Haaland and Odegaard and stuff. There'll be no Euros for them.
Haaland hasn't been to a major tournament yet, has he?
He's going to be scratching around with that team, mate. You know what I mean?
The next major tournament he can play in now is the World Cup 2026.
Yeah, if you get it, yeah, I mean, if they qualify, innit? You know what I mean? If they qualify, man, they're too heavily reliant on Odegaard in the middle, and they ain't really got much else after that. You know what I'm saying? So
It's typical Norway, mate. They don't cultivate the whole team. You know, they always got one. You know what? Take some more of the ethnics, mate. Take some more of the ethnics in their teams. You know what I mean? And they got that guy. They used to have that midfielder guy. What was his name again? He used to play at one of them teams. Some black midfielder they had always was there, but they don't bring enough of their foreign players in there. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think he had one black guy. He was playing like on the left side of midfield or something. He looked average.
Or Sutton or midfield. Yeah, he didn't look that great.
No, they never offered nothing. Even they played, because I was in and out of the match, and they played like, 98 minutes or something, and they'd done nothing. Holland tried to charge through one time. I think in the first half he nearly got through, but apart from that, they offered very little. Yeah, I don't think they'll be missed in. You know, what I mean, not been in the Euros, because they're just boring team.
They won't be missed.
No, boring team. But yeah, that was it. Did Wales win in the end, John?
2-1.
2-1.
Croatia scored. Wales are level with Croatia on, but goal difference they're ahead of them. So if they both win their last two games, Wales will go through on head to head.
Okay. So that'll be an interesting one then. But yeah, that's about it. Really didn't see anything else really going on much in the world. I think there was any UFC this weekend.
No, there wasn't.
No, I think there are some big events upcoming in next couple of weeks. But I think that's about sort of business finish really for sport, like you said, until next week when the league kicks back in.
England and Italy on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, we'll see Harry Maguire again then, won't we?
And two of them Italian footballers got sent back, innit?
What was it? Tonali and
Zinolo.
Zinola, something. Yeah. They both got sent back.
Some online betting thing or something.
Yeah, I did hear a little bit about that. I'll wait and see what happens there, innit? Another 365.
These lot are crazy, man.
Yep, always with these men when they're betting, you know what I mean? But I'm sure they won't be the last, sadly. They don't learn their lesson, innit? And just keep doing their madness. But that's about it, really. Relatively quiet, innit? Really, sort of sporting weeks, really. Not too much going on, innit?
Yeah, that's it. And the Rugby World Cup, obviously, but, you know.
Anyway, on that note then, what time is it? 1 hour 10, we're done. Thank you for listening, everyone. Like and subscribe, yeah. Big up, everyone, yeah.
Big up.
Blessings, and what? Next week, yeah? Same time next week, guys, yeah?
Remember next week, I mean...
oh, yes. You won't be with us. You'll be going. Enjoy your time, old chap. And
no worries, me on, mate.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And
then, man, we'll reconvene, man.
Don't forget, Fridge Magnet, yeah?
Yeah, well, of course, you know the ones.
All right,
no worries, man. Anyway, we'll chat before then. Have a good one, guys, yeah?
Bless up.
Blessings, man.
Bless up.